So recently, me and my dumb behind got into a drawn out YouTube comments argument with somebody. And I never do this. It's uncharacteristic of me, but something about it feels good. Just to be able to exercise my points and practice my debate skills. Um, but I really try not to get into it because when you're talking to someone online about things, for me, even just getting into a tiny little disagreement with someone online, my goal isn't to necessarily change the mind of the person who I'm talking to. It's more to leave good, valid, reasonable points so that whoever comes behind the two of us and reads our conversation, they can see some good points that I'm making. And not everyone who comes behind us and reads the conversation is going to feel that way. But someone somewhere just might happen to stumble across the conversation and be like, you know what? That's a good point right there. That's who my target audience is when I do get into a little tiffle with someone. Um, and I've been trying to at least create conversation with this channel that I have because it's leaving breadcrumbs. It's like leaving seeds that someone out there just might pick up. You never know. So recently I got into one that was kind of drawn out. Um, Usually I just say like a little thing and it's like over. But this one, it went on for a while. And the main problem was this person I was having this discussion with kept accusing me of being a hypocrite and a liar because I'm vegan. And because I'm vegan, I seek to exclude, as far as is possible and practicable, all forms of animal exploitation. Um, but then this person is telling me that just the fact that I'm commenting, I'm using a device, YouTube's routers, all those things have animal suffering in it. And I kept trying to tell this person over and over again and pretty much just spinning my wheels that we vegans live in a world that is founded on the blood of animals. It is literally everywhere. Every grocery store we walk into, there is a wall of chopped up bodies. And we don't eat every single last body part that comes from these animals. They have byproducts that we don't eat. Some of those byproducts go into pet food, other byproducts become fertilizer. So she could have made the same argument right there that even with the plant foods that I'm eating still contain animal suffering. What if they were fertilized with animal remains that come from factory farms? And that was her argument with my technology that I'm using to comment, is that it contains animal suffering. But a lot of the animal suffering in these electronics and in the technology that we use are byproducts of what people aren't eating from the animals that they eat. And that's where I feel like we were talking past each other. This is where the main disconnect was, is that this person blatantly said that they view animals as resources. That's the whole point. Vegans don't, and we'd rather they not be anywhere in our stuff. But alas. And so I kept trying to explain to this person that as our society stops viewing animals as resources, and as we have a more vegan society, our innovation is going to be geared towards technology, medicine, and just civilization as a whole that doesn't contain animal suffering. And I feel like we were kind of talking past each other. For her, I feel like she was just trying to win. For me, feel like I was just trying to, I guess, win too, if I'm honest and humble. I kind of wanted to win. I kind of wanted her to shut up about I'm vegan, but I'm using a computer, so now I can't speak out against the trillions of animals around the globe every year that are having their throats slit. And that trillion number is so large because it includes fish. And we don't usually count fish. We usually count them by the tons, but they are individuals too. These trillions of animals. But because my cell phone, because my computer, because I am on YouTube and their routers contain animal suffering, carnists will do anything they can to keep the world they're living in, to stay comfortable in a world that takes advantage of animals. Vegans can't separate themselves from civilized society, nor do we want to. We want to transform civilized society. We don't want to pack our vegan suitcases and go live in a cave and not use the internet because the internet's not vegan. Like, really, is this your argument? That because a router in YouTube's headquarters somewhere has animal suffering in it, now I can't speak up for the trillions of animals around the globe that bleed out every year so someone can have a 5-minute meal. You just can't win. I'm sure any ethical vegan you come across would love to be 100% pure. I know I would. I can't stand the idea of my sugar being produced with bone char. The fact that an animal was killed unnecessarily by human hands to produce the world that I have to live and function in. And these animals are being killed to a much, much farther extent. Even when you look at vegans who are caretakers of cats, cats are obligate carnivores. What are they supposed to eat? Vegans oftentimes find themselves between a rock and a hard place. And we're not even talking about survival situations here. Like, what if you're on a deserted island and all you had to eat was a pig? Would you eat it? This isn't that. This is, I'm trying to live my life not contributing to the mass slaughter of trillions of animals around the globe every year. But just walking on the street, there's animal suffering. Does this mean that vegans shouldn't do what they're doing? Does this give us the right to continue slaughtering trillions of animals around the globe every year? Not at all. Just because you can't be pure, just because you can't be perfect, doesn't mean that you should just throw everything to the wind and just be like, oh, forget it. No. Because the fact that vegans care and the fact that while vegans aren't perfect, we are striving for perfection. Perfection is our North Star. It's our North Star. And we're human, we're never going to attain it. Even in a completely vegan world, a vegan society, just like we live in a society today that doesn't have slavery, but somewhere there's still slavery. Somewhere right now, someone's being murdered. Somewhere right now, someone's being raped. And it's happening to both humans and to both non-human animals. The only difference is It's not okay for it to be happening to humans. Most people, if you walk across, go to most people in most countries and you ask them if slavery is okay, they're going to tell you no. You ask them if it's okay to rape and murder, most people are going to tell you no. Most people on this earth are going to tell you no. That's kind of what a vegan world would look like, where you go to most people and ask them if it's okay to slice a pig so you can eat bacon. They're going to tell you no. But somewhere someone's going to be doing it. Veganism is not perfection. And vegans have to recognize that we live in a world that currently truly believes that we have to thrive on animal suffering. Even looking at the Impossible Burger, that in order for them to use their soy hemoglobin, they had to test it. The FDA had them test it on rats. And they tried to submit their product without having it tested first. Then the FDA wanted them to test on rats. 188 rats, if I'm correct, had to die for the Impossible Burger. And as a vegan, I hate that. Should the Impossible Burger have just ditched the soy hemoglobin and come up with something else? Maybe. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. But what I do know is that while 188 rats died, and I loathe the fact that these rats had to die for our testing, this soy hemoglobin is going to be a game changer in creating plant-based products that no longer need animal suffering. And look at all of the other vegan food products. A lot of them were tested on animals. One of the things I said to this person who I was in this comment battle with was a vegan isn't going to tell someone in anaphylactic shock that they can't use an EpiPen because it was tested on animals. Do you understand what I'm saying? Vegans need to shoot for perfection, but we need to forgive ourselves when we fall short. And it's nice to know that when we fall short, especially as a vegan, it's not because you're intentionally abusing animals. It's not that you're going back on your morals and now you see animals as a resource. That's not it at all. Your hand is being forced. There needs to be some flexibility for vegans to be able to exist in a carnist world, in a world that sees animals as natural resources. Does that mean vegans should be lazy? No, not at all. Vegans should strive for perfection, but we need to have a realistic understanding for ourselves and the world, and to have a modicum of acceptance for when we're not able to live up to when we're not able to live up to our ideals. Because we vegans today in 2021, we're vegans in 2021, okay? Vegans in the year 2070, probably, if vegans reach their goal of a vegan world, vegans in 2070 aren't going to be having their hands forced the way vegans today do. That's what vegans today are fighting for, so that the vegans of tomorrow don't have to contribute to animal abuse. We vegans today, we try our absolute best, considering the world we live in. This is not apologizing for lazy vegans, but this is to just give understanding that this is the world we live in, and we have to do our best with what we've got. And by striving for our best, by shooting for perfection and landing among the stars, we're going to make it that much easier, not just for the vegans in the future, but for the animals of the future, who will be liberated and who will no longer have to be enslaved to us, because we were the ones who pushed for a world that doesn't need them in order to exist.